I'd like to share something with you that's quite striking whenever we look at the book of Revelation, as if we were to take that prophecy and put it like at this very minute. You'll find something absolutely mind-boggling in this. My name's Brad Zockel, and I'm here studying on behalf of the Heaven Tour Ministry, in which I travel and talk about heaven, talk about God's kingdom, God himself, the Father, the promises by the Father, and also the book of Revelation and end times. We've been having a live stream on the end times. Revelation chapter 6 comes up, and the third horse of famine in the book of Revelation, after all the warrings and the resources are going down. This is part of the judgment. The famine is so extreme, let me bring it home to you here. Verse 5, when Jesus opened the third seal, I heard the third living one, that's an angel, say, "Come." And I looked, and behold, a black horse, and its rider had a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard what seemed to be a voice in the midst of the four living ones. This is the voice of God on the throne, saying, "A quart of wheat for a denarius, 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and wine." There's a lot we can unpack on this, and you're more than welcome to join us in the live stream. But I want to bring you something here, absolutely amazing. A quart, when it talks about this, is the measurement given as a daily ration for the soldiers on the field. A quart was called a koinix. It was a scoop. It was about 1.1 liter. If you took a liter jug, Pepsi liter, Coke liter, split it in half and use that bottom part as a scoop, that would be about as much as you'd get. And that would be a day's wage for a soldier. Now, a breadwinner would receive more because he's in charge of a family. Bible scholars saying they would receive around 12 scoops. And so for a day's wage, you would receive 12 scoops of wheat. Now, I want you to understand something. They're saying then, Bible scholars are saying, that this is intimating that inflation will skyrocket 12 times. The price of everything will shoot up 12 times. If that's so, I ran it as if this were to happen today. A loaf of bread from Walmart, the cheapest bread, would cost $17.04. A can of tomato soup, the larger can of tomato soup you could hold, would cost, if you were to buy it at Kroger, would cost you $20.04. If you went to a place like Food City, bought a gallon of milk, it would cost you $36.24. And this is just the beginning of that famine. If you were to go to a place like Albertsons, buy the cheapest pack of 12 hot dogs that you could get, it would cost you $42.72, barely enough to feed your family for one night. That's just the beginning of the judgments. Book of Revelation. Amazing.